Welcome to this lesson here on the Triangle Sum Theorem. And just as a brief recap, let us just write down what that means. So that means that angle 1 in any triangle plus angle 2 plus angle 3, goes like this, has to give you, I know that looks like 23, I'll fix that, 180 degrees. So that said, just to take a look at what we have here, we have three angles. This we can call angle 1, so that's A, and it's represented by 3x. So angle 1 here is 3x. And then angle 2 is represented by 5x right here. So let's number them. And this is 5x. And lastly, this would be angle 3. And these three things have to add up to 180 degrees. So the nice thing about this is that this is a somewhat simple task to get done in terms of simplifying what's on the left, right? So what I mean by that is these three things over here, I can bring them together. That's called simplifying, or just bringing like terms together. They are like terms because they all have an x. So that said, 3x plus 5x plus 2x, what you're going to do is you're going to add the coefficients. So 3 is a coefficient of the first term there, plus 5, which is the coefficient of the second term, and plus 2, which is the coefficient of the last term. So all of these become your new coefficient, and x is only going to be written down once. Nothing happened to the 180. That continues to be 180. So 3 plus 5 plus 2 ends up being 10. So 10 times some number is supposed to be equal to 180. I know some of you already got what that number is, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to go ahead and go through the parts that have to be done. So this is 10 times x, this piece right here, and what I need to do is the inverse of that, which is divide by 10. So when I divide by 10, I'm going to end up isolating x, which is to say x is going to stay by itself. So I can cross these out because 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 times x is just x. And 180 divided by 10 is going to be 18. So x is 18 degrees. So now it's simple because we know what angle A, angle B, and angle C are. Right, so let's divvy this up. I'm going to do angle A over here, angle B over here, and angle C over here. Angle A is 3x. We know now that x is 18, so x is going to be substituted by 18. And 3 times 18 is 54. So angle A is 54 degrees. So right now I can cross this out and write 54 for that. Okay, angle B is represented by 5x. So I'll go ahead and put that in that column. X we know is 18, so that substitutes x. And 5 times 18 is 90 degrees. Now, I'll say this, I fully understand that does not look exactly like a 90-degree angle, but this triangle is now drawn to scale. This is more for the purposes of understanding how to complete the process here. All right, so far we have 54 degrees and 90 degrees. Now you have different ways to solve for C, but since we already know what X is, we'll go ahead and do it this way. 2X, X is 18. So 2 times 18 is 36. 36 degrees. So I'll cross this out, and this is 36. Now, a good thing to do when you have this is you want to definitely just double check. Take angles A and B, 54 plus 90. That's going to give me 4. 9 plus 5 is 14, so this is 144. Okay, so now that I have 144, I'm going to add the last angle, which is 36. And can you guess what I'm supposed to get? Well, if you guessed 180, that's what we're going to get. 4 plus 6 is 10. Bring down the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then it's 1 plus nothing. So there's 1. So it's perfect. It checks out. Sure enough, all three angles add up to 180 degrees. We are done. That is what you would do for this problem. So let's go on to a second one, because that other one had more simple expressions. This one's a little bit more complicated. It's got binomials, which means it has two terms. And here you're being asked to determine the measures of angle D, which is here. So I'm just going to draw a question mark pointing to D. And I need to find the angle measure of E. So I'm going to write a question mark for both of those, just so I keep in mind that that's exactly what I'm trying to get. Because we can make the mistake of just figuring out what X is and forgetting that we need to go back and figure out what D and E represent. So same story, because this is a triangle and we're dealing with the three angles and we're trying to find out what it is, we're going to use the Triangle Sum Theorem. So as we said, angle D plus angle E plus angle F have to add up to, you guessed it, 180 degrees. There you go. So we know that D is represented by 4x plus 9. So this is 4x plus 9. E is represented by, right here, it's pointing to it, 2x minus 7. So 2x minus 7. And then F is simple. We don't have to figure that out. That's 28. And each number here has a degree symbol, so we don't forget. And all of these have to add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so now, like we did before, I'm going to put a star right here and a star right here. The reason for that is because these two terms have an X in it. Those are the ones that I want to bring together. And I'm going to also separately bring together the ones that are underlined. So let's start with the ones that have an X, right? Remember we said the coefficients is what we're looking at. So this is 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 gives me 6. 6x. That's what this one right here and this one right here give me. Okay, so now I'm going to include the constants. That's what we call the regular numbers without any variable. So plus 9 minus 7, that's 2. And 2 plus 28, that's 30. So this is going to become 6x plus 30. And that has to give me 180 degrees. Let's not forget that. All right, so from this point on, we know what we got to do. We got to use the inverse operations, and you start from whatever's furthest from the x. In this case, plus 30 is furthest from the x. So I need to subtract 30. Subtract 30 from both sides. That's what keeps the balance. And the equal sign comes down. Remember, that's what I just said. We have to keep the balance. So on this side, 180 minus 30, that's 150. Okay, and I can cross out 30 minus 30 because that subtracts itself out. And we are left with 6x on that side. So 6 times x, just like we did with the 10 before, we're going to divide by 6 here. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times x is x. Okay, so that is going to equal 25. X is 25 here, 25 degrees. So, as you know, we have to find the two angles that we started asking for, right? We said angle D and angle E. Those are the two with the question marks in the diagram. So I'll go ahead and rewrite the expression that represents D, which is 4x plus 9 degrees. And we know that x is 25 degrees. That substitutes in for x. And we get this, right? 4 times 25 is 100. And we have to add that to 9. So that's an easy calculation. That's 109. So angle D is 109 degrees. So like I said, once you know, you can cross this out. Feel free to cross it out. And you write 109. Okay. Now we're going to go on to angle E, which is represented by 2x minus 7. And we know that x is 25, so we substitute 25 degrees for x. And again, this is not difficult. We know that 25 2 times is 50. So this gives me 50 minus 7. That's going to be 43 degrees. Okay, so I could cross this out and I can write 43 right here. So now we only have one question. Does that add up to 180 degrees? That is how we check. So I will literally write that this time. It is a check. So let's see. 109 plus 43. 9 plus 3 is going to be 12. Carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 152. So now I just have to add the other angle, which was F, which is also represented by 28. 28 plus 152. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1 right there. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. And 1 plus nothing is 1. It checks out. It is 180 degrees. So our two answers is 109 and 43. This is angle D. And this is angle E. And there you go.